Views and opinions expressed by the guests of Sasquatch Experience do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the hosts, sponsors, or affiliates of the Sasquatch Experience. As always, listener discretion is advised.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something that looks like a man. I don't know what it was.
Back in 2005, we set out with one goal: to give voice to the mystery and those who pursue it. Sasquatch Experience Podcast has been your go-to source for serious Bigfoot discussion, where we separate fact from folklore, always grounded in research and respect. We've interviewed eyewitnesses, experts, and skeptics alike, because understanding Bigfoot isn't just about belief, it's about the journey. Nearly 2 decades later, we're still chasing shadows and sharing stories. The search never stopped. Welcome to the Sasquatch Experience.
Jesus Christ, you better... Zia!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
Well, guys, it never gets old. That intro, and it's nice to hear it again. Everybody, welcome back, Sasquatch Experience. I'm Sean, the Fork Chop Forker. That's Matt Arner. That's Henry May, who snuck in during the intro. And you can't see him, but he's down there. The big
But I'm
D,
here.
the Vance Nesbitt. James Baker out tonight with a sick dog. And guys, I tell you what, it's great to be back with you. It's a lot has happened. And I think we all, especially me, life was really kicking me in the gonads. Needed a break, and it was time to take one. And we did, and now we're back. As you can see, I'm not at the studio tonight. I'm at Casa de Forker. My home is your home this evening in the lovely Rose Quartz dining room, appropriately apportioned by my wife, who is
And I'm in the black abyss, apparently. I don't know why video doesn't come through, but you know what? For a podcast, who cares?
That's right. Most of you listen to this anyhow as opposed to watch it. And if you are watching, well, sorry. Sucks to be your eyes. Anyhow, we do need to get some nice eye candy for this program, although I don't know if I can say that without the risk of getting
I could do that, but you don't have me on camera. So
I know.
I won't. Yeah, never mind.
Only 2 of our panelists are eligible backflitters, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, yours truly, the handsome one, is taken. Matt is also taken. And Baker is spoken for. Sorry, ladies. I know that one's got you down in the dumps. But Henry is, as Baker always says, always looking to find a 5th. And then there's Vance, who's...
Yep, there's Vance. Yep.
Single, ready to mingle. And you can catch him on swatchesonly.com. But great to be here. We have our good friends in the chat, Scott Dieterle, who has been, by the way, guys, I can't say enough kind things about Scott. A real rock and a friend.
Yes, sir, Scott.
Needed. Thank you, Scott. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate your kindness, your words, the late night chats, and putting up with my just overall shenanigans. Same with all you guys. Thank you very much.
But you know what? Scott adds a lot of contributions to thought and process to the show. So from me,
really does.
Kudos to you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Scott, who really does contribute quite a bit behind the scenes. Him and Brian Corbin. Both good contributors. Today, our production chat was kind of going off with what we were going to talk about tonight, because we do have a little bit of a loose agenda, but there was some, again, I guess we could call it a little controversy that broke yesterday. Just, I guess, some verbal overstepping, I guess we could call it. Above and beyond that, though, it's been crazy. So enough about us. I do want to get the generalizations out of the way about the events popping up, but then also I do want to take a moment and just direct everybody to Bigfoot Society. Our friend Jeremiah Byron, really going through a rough time right now, folks, diagnosed with cancer, and needs our help and our support. I put a post out there on Facebook the other day during our break, but more of a appeal. If you can help, please do so.
Yep.
Rather, this isn't. I think so many people mistake the fact that we're not competitors; we're friends. There's a lot of
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Where did Sean? Are we still there? There
what
we are.
happened there. I don't know. Anyhow, Jeremiah has been a great friend to us. It was great to see him at some of the events over the years, but he needs your help, folks. If you have some time, go over and support him, follow his journey, and go to the GoFundMe. And, even support, well wishes, thoughts, and prayers, all that stuff.
Yep.
Makes a difference. So get out there and show some support, folks.
He's on the prayer list.
Well, and it does work wonders, folks.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
We have the 2026, the first ever PA Paris Storm Fest happening in Tars, Pennsylvania next weekend. Not the 4th of July, the week after. Myself and James Baker will be there representing Sasquatch Experience. Matt, I don't know if you're coming down for it or not, but
I can't. Yeah, I'm going to be tied up that weekend.
we got a lot of things going on. A brand new event being put on by the Pennsylvania Storm Chasers. I mean, it's great to see some of my favorite things come together under one roof. And two of the big headliners, Stan Gordon and Dr. Greg Forbes. And if you know anything about severe weather on TV,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Forbes is the man. So come on down. Tickets on sale now. Go to Facebook. We'll link it up. Go to PA Paris Storm Fest. Google it or put it in the Facebook algorithm there. It'll pop up. Like it and then come out and see us. It's going to be a great event, folks.
Yeah, Stan Gordon is going to make it all happen.
Yep.
Stan is the literal man. Matt, you have an event popping up as well.
Yes, July 18th. I'll be at Thunderhead Lodge in Andrews, Pennsylvania. It's right on top of the Blue Mountain, Route 309, right on the Appalachian Trail. They're doing the Appalachian Conjure Fest. I kind of fell into it last year, and they asked me to have a table there, talk about Bigfoot sightings. Next thing you know, they're pulling me into the main center, and they said, "Hey, talk about Bigfoot for an hour." All right, I could talk about Bigfoot for days. So we ended up doing that. It was super, super popular, and they want me back. And if you guys are in the area, we're going to have a table representing TSE, and we're going to have a good time with that. So coming out, that's going to be July 18th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it's not going to be all day. Thunderhead Lodge is a restaurant.
Okay.
A very good restaurant. Now, the only bad negative thing about Thunderhead Lodge, it's haunted.
Oh.
So if you go on their Facebook page, they always do the cameras. They always do the hidden cameras. So yeah. So anyways, they do have a haunted restaurant. It is. The food is the hamburgers are exceptional, but like everything else there, like that's an excellent place to go. And if you're hiking, if you're a thru hiker, stop on by. We're going to talk about. I'm going to be more centered this time, talking about Bigfoot along the Appalachian Mountains in Pennsylvania. So
that's kind of your thing now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So.
And you're good at it, Matt. You really are. That's why folks keep asking you back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got haunted burgers. Matt talking about Bigfoot.
Yes.
What more can you ask
Haunted burgers.
Absolutely. Wow. And Appalachian thru hikers coming through, and they haven't had a shower in a couple weeks, and but you know what? It's part of the experience. So.
Yes. Not showering.
I guess. Yeah, I know.
Well, if anybody has an experience visiting Matt, we'd certainly love to have you on the show because of the fact of you can share whatever weird experience you may have had, and we're all for it.
Yep, absolutely.
Now,
no,
go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say last year, I started getting just random people that didn't know each other, and they're coming up, and I have the map up there, and they all pointed at one particular area, and it's literally like 35 minutes from my house. So that seems to be. I do like to go, in my normal research area, but I'm thinking this area here might be a decent area. It's right on the Appalachian Trail. There's no roads. You have to hike into where this particular area is. But landowners, people that had farms, giving reports of audio. Hearing howls at night that weren't coyotes, hearing whoops, hearing screams. We had a through hiker that said, "Hey, something came through his camp in the middle of the night." And all he saw were two legs, and he said, "There's no light." Whoever was walking through there, it was not, a hiker that was lost. He said this.
Now he said it was on two legs. Did you describe the legs?
He just said that they were big.
Okay, big
and
legs.
because he had his. I guess there was a little bit of light outside. He was able to see the shadow. And he said whatever it was definitely a lot bigger than him.
Mm.
So good reports from that area. So, like I said, that might be a possible area to explore.
I sent you a couple sightings that Lon Strickler from Phantoms and Monsters posted from PA. And though I was going to ask you, man, folks, if you have it, he just posted them, I think, yesterday over on phantomsandmonsters.com. Were you able to kind of ascertain an area from any of the descriptions? I mean, I know it seems hard, but I didn't get any kind of directional from where those sightings might have happened.
I did not either. And usually Lon is pretty good. He'll give, some sort of, area, or I've even seen a couple reports where he actually put the latitude and longitude lines in, which is really helpful. So, I know with that it was a little harder to ascertain. I know a lot of the reports he gets though are Central PA, Bald Eagle State Forest, which is by our friend Gwen, and it's just to the south of you, and really a lot of good reports coming from that area as well.
Oh, speaking of Gwen, there is the Central PA Bigfoot and Cryptid Fest happening in
Mm-hmm.
August as well. We don't want to forget that. Because that's an event that you and I usually show up for. At least participate in. So we'll be glad to see more about that. We have to check back in with everybody. Again, guys, we've been on a break. Matt has been the only one that's kind of really been engaging in Bigfoot and Henry, but I've been out. So I'm trying to catch up and see what the hell's been going on.
Likewise.
I tried to do a crash course.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very interesting. So Matt, tell us about Forest County, the Bigfoot Festival up there, and some of the things that have been happening.
All right. So the big thing about Forest County is we were, rather than having a table on my own, I was partnered up with Mike Ann. Mike Ann, he said, "Hey, I'm going to come out, hang out at the," I was like, "Brother, come on, hang out with me." He helped me out that entire weekend. I mean, what a fantastic friend. And I couldn't appreciate that anymore. But we were supposed to have a table all the way at the end, but Stan Gordon had like a double table set up. So we said, "Stan, can we go in there with you?" So it was me, Mike Ann, Stan Gordon, Eric Altman. I mean, it was like the whole. And Tom, I can't think of his last name. Great guy, and
Tom
but
Niehoff.
you know what? I mean, yes. So
Niehoff, yes.
Niehoff,
Right.
yeah. So we had, really just a great lineup for Pennsylvania. Eric had the Prince that he got in 25 there, and that was the big draw. Once I got the information on it, I was able to, both Mike and I were able to kind of jump in. And one thing Eric said, he was like, "Brother," he was like, "I'm proud of you guys." He was like, "It's nice to see how we kind of came through from, just guys that really, we're just learning about this to, being able to go out and, explain, take reports. So hearing that from Eric was awesome. Stan Gordon, though. And this comes back to Eric, and we got to give Eric 100% credit for this. He said, we need T-shirts that say, just blame Stan. So blame Stan for everything. Bigfoot, UFOs, everything, So we do need to get a Stan Gordon shirt going. That was
I'm doing it now.
Considering the
awesome.
fact that Stan has been involved in this,
yes,
for what, over 50 years?
Yes,
yes. Before any of this was even a social media phenomena, he's been involved in this. So Stan. Oh yeah, he's the golden child of all of this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. So we were so. We were so grateful that we had Stan in that particular area with us, and it was just like I said, just a fantastic table that we all put together. As you know, I did this with the first festival that Gwen had. I bought like 200 of these little compasses for for kids. Mike Ann had some stuff to give away. So we had so many, and we're really, one thing that we were really pushing, and this is something that I brought up basically to wrap up my speech, is when we're out there bigfooting, 99.9999% of the time, nothing happens. But do we take that away that nothing happened, or do we take away the time that we spent out in the woods with family, learning about nature, seeing things that people wouldn't see, on a normal time, seeing an owl, hearing the coyotes, seeing all the, the creatures of the night, kind of going through the woods like that. We really wanted people to take that away, that you could be out there bigfooting, you could be out there hiking, but take away that time that, or keep that time that you have with family, with friends, and with nature. So we really pushed that. That was kind of like the keynote of my speech there. But yeah, it was a great time. Just the other speakers, they were fantastic. Our friends Ken and Ann, Ken Gerhard and Ann Celine were there. And I love those guys. They are the best, and we had a great time with them. And but all the other speakers just fantastic. I got a shirt, the Forest County Bigfoot. I should have brought it up here, and it has my name on it. I'm like, oh my God,
that's awesome.
I know. So
yeah, that's awesome.
So I was happy about that. We festival population wise, event wise, it was packed. Saturday was absolutely packed, and we did have just so many people at our table, and like I said, having everyone there, along those tables was awesome. I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners, Brianna, who lives. Her and her family are up in the Cook Forest area, and they listen to us on the podcast. They watched us on STM, and very big fans. There was a few other people that came up that said, "Hey, I listen to you. When we listen to the podcast when we're at work. We're listening to the podcast, when we're in our car. So, getting to hear that it was really
that's pretty
really
cool, isn't it?
That is.
Yeah.
So the food there was great.
We have to get the review on that.
Yeah.
Where did you eat?
So I ended up, and it's disappointing for everything that they had. Is it disappointing or not? I went 2 days to the pizza place, the wood-fired pizza oven. That pizza was fantastic. The first day I got the generic, sausage and cheese. The next day I got a margarita. Oh my God, that was.
Is that the one that Jeff and Julie brought us? Same place? No.
This was this was a food truck. They're from
Okay.
that area though. So I did not see Jeff and Julie there. I was really hoping to see them because they. I know because, and I'm going to tell you, those two, they are the feet on the ground in the Allegheny National Forest. They're
Absolutely.
fantastic people.
Oh, yeah.
They're fantastic people, and we love them to death. So, so shout out to Jeff and Julie as well. I'm trying to think of anything else. We saw Amy Boo there. She was out there
Amy.
camping on her own. Yeah, and yeah, so that was really fun. And now, if you remember when we did Eric's Bigfoot camping festival last year, there was a little issue because I ended up winning about half of the prizes from the basket raffle.
You and James Baker.
So we ended up. I ended up throwing a ticket in for the basket raffle at the end of the festival. I ended up winning a big basket from Pheasants Forever, which is a wildlife conservation group, and I got some really cool things from that. So I was happy. So it was a very, very good time. We there was an incident that was kind of crazy that happened at the camper I was staying at, and not at our campground. I was staying at an Airbnb camper, not that far from Marionville, and let's just say that there was the people at the camper next to us were a little too rowdy and had the cops coming on Saturday night at like 11:30 at night. So that wasn't too fun.
But of the event, you're being generous with the recap.
Yeah, I am. I absolutely am. So again, that was just a wonderful festival. When we went out, we did the night walk with Mike Familian. Again, our big thing was, you don't have to have a big Bigfoot encounter. It's just being out there as a family. Again, there was so much wildlife that was active that night. So just getting families, especially if they're from suburban areas, urban areas, to be out in the woods and to experience that is in itself, probably the best thing. One last thing before I go, and we had talked about this from our last show, payment for the speaking fee for the Forest County Bigfoot Festival. I had them do a donation in my name in lieu of payment. So hopefully there should be a Facebook post sometime this week. They made a payment of $500 to the McKean County to the McKean County Child's Advocacy Center.
That's awesome.
I worked with them.
Oh, wow.
I worked with them on a case where we had the victim that lived up in Potter County, but everything happened in the town I work in, and they were the ones that did the forensic interview for the victim, who was a young girl, and they did a fantastic job. So the money, I spoke with the director, and the money that that's raised, that was donated, that'll go to gift cards for gas.
That's awesome.
For people that don't have the money, helps buy them food. It goes 100% to the victim. So
That's awesome.
That is
I'm
awesome.
very happy about that.
That's a big congratulations to those that
Yes.
participated in the financial donation of that. That
Yes.
so makes
hopefully
my
this
heart
week,
swell. That's awesome.
Thank you. So hopefully this week they'll put the Facebook post out, and then once that's out, we'll share it on the Sasquatch Experience Facebook page as well.
Fantastic.
That was great of you, Matt.
Yep.
Again, that's a lot of the times that's the stuff we do here. We are all about giving back at Sasquatch Experience. Honest to God, I run this show to the deficit and probably will be divorced by the time.
But you know what? You did the right thing.
Right.
We did the right thing.
Matt, and you know what? And again, and I'm going to kind of talk about this a little bit in our next segment, though. But when you talk about professionalism, right, and credential, that you can be the most credentialed person and the biggest name in this field and be an asshole.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you've got Matt, who you know, of the entire group, I'm the asshole. Matt is not. Matt is the kindest, nicest, gentlest guy I've ever met, and he's the size of a Sasquatch. But he's a gentle giant, and just the work that Matt does.
But he wears shorts.
I'm proud to have him on the show. I'm proud to have him as a friend, and so thank you, Matt, for kind of carrying.
Yeah, no, thank you, Matt.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
You're a great representative of the Sasquatch Experience Group. You really are a great representative.
I try to be.
You are.
Human.
Thank you.
Just a good human, dude. Really. So we'll kind of use that to jump off, to this next point. I guess it's no stranger if you watch this show, you're probably following the drama of the Bigfoot field as it continues to unfurl. Whether we're talking about the aging Bob Gimlin getting beaten up in documentaries that still haven't shown their light of day yet, to now eating each other, right? Mm-hmm. So we look at Matt Moneymaker put a post out the other at 12:15 in the morning, actually Eastern time, so probably about 9, a little after 9 Pacific time out there or wherever.
Matt Moneymaker of the Bigfoot Research, right?
Bigfoot Field Research Organization.
Yes, indeed.
I just put my glasses down and tried to adjust them on my face. Sorry. That's been that kind of day. So I'll read the post, and then in between some of the paragraphs, I have my own kind of rebuttal, and I'll let you guys kind of give your own rebuttals as well during this, all right?
That's fine.
And so Matt goes, whenever I post something saying that Sasquatches have never attacked or killed any humans in modern times, there's always some vociferous people who rise up to say that's not true, and they invariably point to the writings of a guy named David Paulides.
Yeah.
He has 2 documentary videos on Netflix based on his books about missing people. Without saying so explicitly, Paulides strongly suggests that Sasquatches are responsible for some mysterious disappearances of people, especially in national parks. Many people believe this guy and will passionately reference his work whenever I say that Sasquatch do not attack humans. Intimidation is not the same thing as an attack. So I'm going to stop and take a break there. First of all, the documentaries are Missing 411 and Missing 411 The Hunted. They're pretty much out everywhere now. And I think there's a third one that's now coming out too, isn't there? Missing 411?
Yes, I believe so.
The UFO connection, because while he's out whoring himself from camp to camp, who's ever paying those speaking fees, that's who's responsible for these disappearing people. That's no strength. That's not a lie.
Right.
That's the reality. So Matt starts this post off with my favorite statement: Sasquatch has never attacked or killed any humans. And we just don't know that. There's no veracity to that statement, even in modern times, because, if you were killed by a Sasquatch, who the hell's going to live to tell about it? So
that's exactly right.
And I think the issue, and the issue I take with it, and he kind of adds in modern times. So define modern times, right? It's just as foolish as the statements that are made by David Paulides. And to me, like we infer this creature, it's a unknown entity, right? Unverified by science, with wild tendencies. Why on earth would we want to continuously portray this thing as a docile herbivore?
Mm-hmm.
As with any living creature, I cannot stress enough the use of caution. That's it. I'm not saying these things are murderous, psychopathic, bloodthirsty villains. I'm just saying exercise a little caution, would you?
Right.
Because you're dealing with a wild creature.
Right.
And I get a little perturbed by that. Hell, people attack people, guys. And if you don't think Sasquatch is an ape and you think it's more of a person who kind of are apes, we're the most violent animals on the planet. We kill things because we're bored.
Yeah.
And I hate chimpanzees. I think they're evil, but humans suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
when we
agree.
When we try to paint this picture as these peaceful forest giants, and maybe they are, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying get a shovel and beat the hell out of a Bigfoot when you see one. What I'm saying is give it space. And to go out there and consistently say, oh, they're harmless, they're not good. We don't know that. Do you really want to be responsible for someone getting their arms ripped off and beaten to death?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't want that. Now, I also don't want everybody to go out there and sleep with a shotgun under their pillow and start bagging things in the middle of the night, because that's not safe either.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
But
a good point, right?
the natural impulses at work through the animal kingdom, logic and reason are the only things that separate us from the animals, right? They're the only things that stop us from just murdering all willy-nilly, and that doesn't even stop us. Again, contradictory. We kill because we can. It's a natural impulse. Most of us have that ability to control it. As we know, a lot of people don't. He goes on to say, I've known for years that Polides lies a lot, but it required a very good researcher in the arena of mysterious disappearances to fully show how much of outright fraud Polides is, along with the missing 411 series. And if you have the slightest care about the topic and the claims that Sasquatches are probably responsible for some unexplained disappearances, then you should watch the YouTube video that thoroughly debunks and exposes Polides. He's a fraud. Now, first of all, this isn't a new video. This video's been out from the Lore Lodge. It's been out for 11 months. And if you could sit through the bore fest that the video actually is, because it's not very entertaining. And I'm not saying it, I just don't find the video very entertaining. And I know he's meant to kind of expose all this fraud on David Polides, which fraud's a big word. You got to be very careful when you're using that. There's some very litigious people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Say it like this. The dots that he's connected just don't connect without them fitting to connect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then there's a lot of times that even on his own right, depending on which camp he's playing to, whether it's the UFO people or the Bigfoot people at the conferences he goes to, that's where he kind of changes his story. And it doesn't mean he's a nice guy. You know, you could still be a nice guy and be a money-making piece of shit. It happens. But, again, we have two people, both accused of the very same thing, mind you. Matt Moneymaker's soul is not completely pure. You know, it's $400 to go on an expedition to charge for Bigfoot. Maybe you have an experience or not. You know, the argument could be made that, you know, that in itself could potentially be fraud, right? So let's not slice too much and too thinly here. You know, it's just, as a community, now we're starting to attack each other. And again, the problem I have with it is
good points.
Polides isn't really in the community by his own choice.
Yeah.
You know, he's flip-flopped more times than a politician.
You bring up some extremely good points. You know, Polides always starts his interviews or his whatever it is he presents that he's in law enforcement. So that encapsulates, I'm being completely honest about everything I'm going to share with you. That may not be true. That may not be true. I always hold some skepticism from everything he has ever shared, but it is extremely fascinating. Matt Moneymaker does the same thing. He's like, I've been in the Bigfoot research field for years. I've been doing this. And that brings up the same it brings up the same kind of whatever volume of I don't know. I'm trying to find the words, but equal value between Polides and what Matt Moneymaker are saying with each other. And so I have to sit here and play this volleyball game between the two of them. And I'm like, I don't know who's bringing more to the table of truth. And it really makes it kind of, you know, it makes it, for me personally, it makes it kind of interesting. It's very interesting between the two of their points, but I don't know which one is bringing more truth to the table.
The problem is there's no points that are really brought to the table. It's regurgitated information that's amalgamated and not done right. The Lore Lodge, what they do, while the video is not very entertaining, it is very informational. And so be prepared to sit down and take some notes. But as a community, we've spent a great deal of time promoting the virtue of veterans and law enforcement being the best in the field, only to be really let down time and time again by people that really hold those credentials. Matt, we're exempting you from that, of course. And there's other good ones out there, right?
Absolutely.
David Zagan and many others, and I'm not taking, for the love of God, nobody take it as a shot to veterans and law enforcement, but those are the people we extol and put at the forefront of the field, every credentialed, right? But, we look at the credentials, people look at the credentials of Polites, they start diving in. What does Matt Moneymaker do on every report that's listed on the BFRO website at the bottom of the page? There's a CV of every researcher and investigator that has touched that case, and that's to show credibility, right? Credibilities isn't qualified by credentials. You can have all the credentials in the world and still suck at what you do.
Yes, I totally agree.
And I think that's where we as a community have to step back and stop putting up these pedestals for these folks that haven't earned it. Now, I love the fact that, Matt, you know this, a lot of the people we associate with are of law enforcement, and they bring a certain level of skill. And Matt, you work with me enough to know I'm a sponge. I absorb everything I can from people I work with. The power of we is better than the power of me, right? And while we're out working with these folks, and it always looks great to have them on a podcast, looks great to have them as some sort of expert testimony in something, and that Corky whatever is going to get pissed because I use the term expert again. Piss off and die, my friend. It's my show. I'll use whatever word I want. There are folks that have expertise in fields that relate directly to this research, right? And so those are the folks we like to bring those credentials in to add credibility to our team, but they have to be applied right. Now, it's also, if you're going to carry those credentials, you have to carry yourself right. And sometimes that's where the rub comes, right? Those folks have issues in their professional life, and so they've made this jump. And, history is very revisional. It's a little harder to do it now because of Google and the World Wide Web, but history's revisional. And folks tend to find ways to make the less desirable parts of them disappear so that we can stand among peers and write these books. And, the jury's still out a lot. And while I don't believe in the missing 411 connection entirely, just because he didn't put the right shade of lipstick on doesn't mean it's not pretty. Doesn't mean there's not truth to it.
Right. I agree with you, Sean.
What Polites does bring in that is, even though it's a lot of collection and a lot of amalgamation, that's still more than what Moneymaker's brought to the table to support his fact that these things are Uncle Fluffy, that they're not harmful creatures. And as much as we also turn to the point where we educate the people that come and listen to us speak, the people that come and, go to conferences and conventions and they bring their kids, and we want them to have this desire and this wonder to be out in the woods and to explore the strange world around us. I also don't want them cuddling up the black bears or grizzly bears either.
Exactly.
And so we go out and say, hey, kids, stay away from that bear. He's going to eat your face.
Yeah.
And it should kind of be the same attitude we have with Sasquatch, should we ever prove one exists. And
so let me ask a question. How do you feel that between Polites and Moneymaker, how is AI going to differentiate between the two and having people's opinions be changed with AI?
Oh, are you talking about AI as a tool and how it's going to affect
if you ask the question, how is AI going to differentiate between those two opinions of each other?
Well, I think with any logical formulation, it's going to put them on opposite sides of the spectrum. You have one that's pro.
And I kind of figured that was going to be the end result. That's going to put them on the opposite ends I really did.
But I mean, they're on the opposite ends now. AI aside, I think the only thing AI is doing is potentially could add some alliteration and some, unless you prompt it well, pardon me, unless you prompt it well and ask it to take out certain qualifiers, it could lump in a lot of fiction with reality. And so you have that blending of stories.
No, I
folklore,
totally agree.
And
I
real
totally
sightings.
agree. You know,
That's
before
why-
the whole AI revolution has come blossomed, I would listen to Polites stories, and I was completely fascinated and horrified by listening to all of his stories and giving all these details of everything he had to give. And then I listened to Moneymaker, and I'm like, yeah, well, that might be. But I was not nearly enthralled as much as David Paulides' stories were. So then I was starting to wonder, is a lot of this just kind of made up?
Yeah, and I would have no doubt in that, Vance. A lot of this, listen, it plays on emotion, just like anything that's hot and popular right now.
Right.
Get conversation started. Even I'm getting hot about this topic, and I have no real skin in the game besides trying to save the skin of our friends and kids that are out there wanting to get close to Bigfoot. But
okay, that's fair.
In this whole argument, that the argument goes back to the core that Matt Moneymaker doesn't like the fact David Paulides has used his form to promote Sasquatches are vindictive, evil, murdering creatures that cause disappearance in national parks.
Right. Because
it shies away from his vision of the fantastic forest people and their meadows of spring flowers and, Sasquatches frolicking amongst the wildflowers. And it's two different narratives, right? And in there, in between, is the invariable truth that doesn't play to emotion. And what's the truth? The truth is right here in this little box, folks. You're dealing with the potential of a wild animal. It's going to have good days. It's going to have bad days. Plain and simple, don't fuck with it. It doesn't have to be any more difficult. As we go out and try to elicit responses from it and prove it exists.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But, that could have a negative effect one day.
Yeah, no, that's
Matt
a really
and I could
good
be running
point.
through the woods and Matt pushes me down and I'm Bigfoot father. Just get it on tape.
No, that's a good point.
Just get it on tape.
That's a really good point.
I wouldn't.
But we don't know. We don't know. And so much of this goes back to what we feel and two guys that have a little bit of self-aggrandization. That putting themselves up above others and my opinion weighs more than others. It's a me, and a me. And we don't know. Paulides has put a lot of time and effort into something. If it's a fraud, that's the word others have used. I'm not calling it that. But that's the word. He spent a lot of time working on it and promoting.
Yes, he did.
That's dedication to your work.
Yes, it is.
Now, there's 150 other problems I have with David Paulides that have nothing to do with missing 411. We've talked about missing 411. Are there missing people disappearing in national parks?
Yep.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yep.
Are they all related?
Not necessarily.
Right.
No.
Are some of them related? More than likely. Is this formula he came up with the golden standard for missing people?
Nope.
Not a chance in hell. They're just points. We could go out there and find 15 different shades of blue. At the end of the day, it's blue.
Yeah.
Right? But they're still very different.
All right.
And they all have a different way they resonate and manipulate and make people feel. Blue's a very interesting color, right? Color in general is very interesting. But again, they're both using this emotional play I don't even know where the hell I was going with color. I completely lost the train on that one.
That's okay.
It had an important thought, and I lost it as quickly as I was going with it. Sorry, folks.
No, that's all right.
But they are diametrically different sides of the same coin. You know, remember we talked earlier today that we're not competitors, right? We're all friends. Some of them are competitors. It is market share for some of these guys, and
Right.
it is about generating eyes and business. There is a reality to what David Paulides is trying to sell, and it's the reality I pointed out to you guys. This could be a dangerous creature. Could be. We could assume it will be if you don't do things right to it, or if you don't leave it alone, right?
Yeah, this is true.
Intimidation is not the same thing as violence, as Matt Moneymaker says, which is not actually intimidation is the precursor to violence.
But none of this means that 50% of what Paulides is shared and 50% of what Moneymaker is shared is not true. It might be real. It may very well have happened. And it's a 50-50 thing. So
you go back to that credibility piece, and Paulides, by jumping back and forth, and Gwen says it here eloquently, it's a ploy to stay in the forefront of the community. Matt has nothing new to offer. Right, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And just like David, the only thing new to being offering there is missing people. But at the end of the day, we can find out they're just unidentified serial killers.
Yeah. Well, or just, they fell off a cliff and broke a leg and they died. We don't know.
Statistically speaking, you have a better chance of that than getting murdered by a Bigfoot.
Right.
And you have a better chance of being abducted by a serial killer than you do have being killed by a Bigfoot. Maybe. We don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, we don't know.
Those are very disturbing lines of thoughts we go down based upon this conversation.
We don't know.
And then, furthermore of this, I'll just surmise this. I just don't like anybody creating an illusion of false safety, right? And I also don't like anybody promoting this murderous Sasquatch is terrorizing national parks. Right now, the National Park Service doesn't need any dive in tourism.
No, I agree. Right.
But we as a community are guilty of creating opportunities for people like Paulides and people like Moneymaker to continuously go out there and promote these unsupported theories and unsupported facts and just treating them like these guys are better than anyone else. They're just guys. Some of them have been on TV more than others. That's it.
I agree.
But make no mistake, they don't know anything more than anybody else.
I mean, I read a report today that a 5-year-old was severely injured by a bison in Yellowstone. We can't contribute that to a Bigfoot encounter.
No,
we can't.
But for how many years have we told people that the bison will hurt you if you approach them? Stay away. They're wild. And yet some dumb parent didn't pay attention, probably listened to the Matt Moneymaker of bisons out there and told him that, it's okay, go and stand next to, Bruno the bison.
Right.
And the kid gets punted into next Thursday.
Exactly.
Throw him a payday.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I was going to say that one of the most dangerous animals in North America is the moose.
Yeah,
and the moose aren't tearing your arms apart. But one thing that they do that people attribute Bigfoot to is they'll do a bluff charge.
Yep.
But then they'll continue going and they'll go right through you. But yeah, it's about safety. This question was brought up during the roundtable at the Forest County Bigfoot. I didn't respond because there was a lot of different people and they want to move on. But the one thing is that with Bigfoot, it's not Bigfoot itself that will hurt you or kill you, but it's Bigfooting. And the one thing is, I remember 2 years ago, we had 2 guys out in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
They decided to go out to look for Bigfoot after Christmas. Did not bring any water-resistant clothing. Didn't have any compasses, any maps. They just went out there and started, just bouncing around the back country. They both died. They both died of exposure. So. And we always talk about up in Potter County, you got snakes, you got drop-offs, cliffs. You got so many places that you can get turned around, get lost, And so you do have to keep safety in your mind. Can something like this potentially harm you or hurt you?
Absolutely.
Like Sean said,
Sure.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But Matt, I think you executed the point
Yep.
flawlessly there again. It's a night of compliments for Matt here.
Thank you.
The point made is Bigfooting will
Mhm.
kill you if you're not careful.
Yes.
Anything, honest to God, it's a safety and a common sense thing. And as with anything with any wildlife, keep your distance, admire from a distance.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, just use common sense. And folks, that was a long way of kind of making that point. But you know, when you have a person in this field that a lot of people look up to, going after somebody in this field that a lot of people look up to, and you have somebody in this field that maybe somebody looks up to me. I feel bad for them if they do. I just want to be the voice of reason in there that says, "Hey, listen, there are points, that are to be made on both sides. There are points.
Right.
Pay attention to it all. Don't follow one doctrine blindly."
Yep.
Because the Matt says the most important thing is safety. Bigfooting will hurt you if you're not careful. Your own self is your biggest victim, or is your biggest victim. Is your business opportunity to make you a victim.
Mhm.
No, and that is an extremely good point. If you do not venture out, when you put your boots on and you do not venture out and you don't have every aspect of what can protect you from every single threat that comes your way, I'm sorry, you're a dumbass. You are a
You have to live
dumbass.
life,
Yeah.
right? You have to
You
live
have
life,
to
but you have to
protect
know
every aspect of what it is that you are doing.
You have to know the danger,
Yep.
right?
You
And
do.
you have to acknowledge that there is danger.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's the key. We've been almost through that whole hour already. Can you believe that?
Wow.
What a crazy night it's been. And honestly, we haven't even got into some of the more recent sightings that I need to catch up on. We've gotten some
will.
sighting reports that have come through
We
that we
will.
need to catch up on, and but it's been nice. And Henry has been sitting there back and forth. Henry, what do you have for us?
Come on, Henry.
Well, here's the thing. If you think about Matt Moneymaker saying, "Oh well, there's no credible evidence that Sasquatch attack humans." Roosevelt, what about that? Did Matt Moneymaker forget about that?
Teddy Roosevelt?
Unless that wasn't a Sasquatch.
Mhm.
You do have that encounter. You had the Albert Ostman encounter. You have Ape Canyon. There's all kinds of stories that are passed through. You have, you even have stories up here in Pennsylvania of aggressive, Bigfoot type encounters. So you have to well, thank you, Jay. Wonderful show. Glad to have you back. It's great to be back. Our friend, another wonderful supporter of ours. Again, we exercise common sense and be safe, folks. That's all we can say. We love our listeners. We love our friends. We want to make sure you all get back safely from your journey.
Can I give you all a big hug? Yeah. I can give you all a big hug.
Matt or Matt, Vance, you said you wanted to have a closing point tonight. What was your closing point?
My closing point tonight is completely switching gears.
Okay.
That when I was born in 1961, and yes, I'm going to date myself, this country was 185 years old. And now we're celebrating our 250th year. I want everybody to just completely enthrall and absorb the amazing country in which we live in. We live in the freest, greatest, kick-ass country for 250 years. So coming this Saturday, please, whatever you do, you enjoy this 250th anniversary of the independence of our country. And that's what I've got to say. Why? I left everybody stunned.
Yeah. Not to go back to what I was saying, but going back on the safety thing, I want to make sure that when we all come back, that everyone has their fingers. No, don't pick up duds. Don't
Nope.
don't launch the Roman candles.
Nope.
Let the professionals take care of it. Be very cautious. The worst
Keep
thing
all
I deal
10
with
digits
is
on your hands.
yes. It's inevitable. We deal with so many traumas.
Yep.
4th of July weekend. So please be careful.
Yeah, keep all the digits on your hands. That is most important.
Yeah.
But enjoy America 250. Go America.
And Henry, take us out. Oh, go ahead. Hold on, Henry. Matt, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I do have my Buc-ee's 250th America anniversary shirt, so I'm all set for that.
He's ready to go. All right, Henry.
Go Buc-ee's.
Now, Henry, take us out.
I'll be good at it.
Yes,
go,
indeed.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Keep on squatching.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Sasquatch Experience. Please rate and review wherever this podcast is consumed. For more information, please go to our website, sasquatchexperience.com. Keep on squatching.